Hi everybody, I'm Silvia and I'm back again with another video about cultural differences. Today about beauty ideals in Korea versus Sweden/the US, because Sweden gets all of their inspiration from the United States. And also in today's video I'm only going to talk about female beauty because that's the topic that I know the most about, so sorry about that. So of course there are a lot of similarities between Korean beauty and Western beauty, as for example being tall or being fit or having big eyes. But I think that one of the things that set us apart is that in Korea there's more of a set ideal of how a beautiful woman should look. So I'm just going to name a couple of things and then I'm gonna go a bit more in-depth into them. So a couple of the things that you will need to have in order to be a classic beauty in Korea would be tall, skinny, a small face, double eyelids, a high arched nose, and the also controversial being pale. Very pale as possible. First of all, we're gonna talk about tall. Tall in Korea might not be the same as being tall in the West world. I think the ideal height in Korea would be 167 centimeters. That's what I've heard from a lot of people. And then there's skinny. I feel like lately it has more become of a being fit kind of thing, like going to the gym. But I feel like it used to be just about being skinny. And if you look into the idol world, there more than in any other place, it's just about being skinny. There are even these like Botox shots that you can inject into your thighs in order to make them thinner. And I've heard that a lot of idol girl groups do that. And of course we've all heard about the crazy Korean girl group diets that I'm not going to talk about in this video, but let me know if you want me to do so. Then there's the small face. Now the small face thing can be quite difficult to understand if you're not from a culture where a small face is desirable or considered beautiful. So when I first came to Korea, a lot of people started saying, "You have such a small face, your face is so small," or "I don't want to take a picture with you because my face looks big." And I was like, what does that even mean? And then I got explained to me that a small face or a small head has something to do with the perfect ratio or the golden ratio, which is the size of your head in comparison to the rest of your body. Now, some celebrities that have this perfect ratio or golden ratio would be Chinese Minho and AOA's Seolyeon. They're both tall and have very small heads. Usually the golden ratio would be being able to fit your head 8 times on your body, which is, believe it or not, quite hard to achieve. And it's also, of course, the thing that a small face makes you look more feminine. Then there's a double eyelid thing that is supposed to make your eyes look bigger and more awake. Personally, I find monolids very beautiful, and it's something that I've personally struggled a bit because I don't know if you can actually tell in these videos, but I have very little double eyelid. I basically only have it like on the outside right here. So I can hide my eyeliner mistakes under there quite well. And then there's the high arched nose. Now that one, I don't exactly know why that's considered beautiful, but it is. You generally would want a small, cute nose that's very high arched and usually like points up a bit. So then there's the pale thing. Ugh. And that originally had to do with wealth and your status. If you had a lot of money, you didn't have to be out in the fields working, which meant you wouldn't see the sun a lot and you wouldn't get tanned. So there was this perception that if you were tanned, you were poor and had to work out in the fields. We had that thing in Sweden too a while back, like way back. That has changed a lot. Then of course the pale thing also has to do with like the health of your skin. You're supposed to have clear skin, no breakouts, no marks or scars or anything. And of course wrinkle free, which is more of a worldwide thing. You will see when there's the tiniest bit of sun outside, Korean women with umbrellas. And it's not only for keeping yourself from tanning, it's also for preventing your skin from wrinkling, because as you may or may not know, the sun is very dangerous and it will hurt your skin. So be careful with that, please. So in the West, or like in Sweden, there's not really a checklist like in Korea. In Sweden, I would say it's very individual. There's not like this is the perfect woman. Like, for example, she has to be tall, curvy, blonde, blue eyes, tan. Like, it's not like one of those things. But of course, there are a few things that people want. And that, I feel, tends to change a lot very quickly. Here in Sweden, for example, a couple of years ago, everyone was supposed to have dark hair. So everyone would dye their hair dark, and it was supposed to be straight and long. And nowadays, I think that in Sweden at least, we like to celebrate diversity. You can look however you want to look, and that's you, and that's what makes you beautiful. Like, individualism, I think it's generally considered very beautiful here in Sweden. But there are a few things that are considered generally beautiful lately, which is small waist and the big hips or big butt look, which is very popular here, and people will go to the gym and they will work for that body. And I envy that dedication. Then there's the tan thing. In Sweden and in a lot of European countries at least, you want to be as tan as possible. People will lay out in the sun or in tanning beds or buy these tanning cream self-tanner. Now, a while back, there was this drug. I'm not gonna say it was super popular, but it was pretty popular, and it was in Sweden called the Barbie drug. I'm not exactly sure what it did exactly, but it did make you super tan and very skinny. And by super tan, I mean super tan. Then another trend that is very popular here are the big lips. A few years back, that wasn't very popular at all. I remember when I was in, what would it be, like junior high school, it was very popular to just put like foundation on your lips, like make your lips disappear. And I don't think it was a thing about wanting to have small lips or anything, but you didn't want to draw attention to them, as opposed to now where you want like all the attention on your lips, and people get injections and overdraw your lips and do the sucky thing on the... So that's kind of funny actually, because a lot of the things that I was super self-conscious about growing up as a non-Swedish girl in Sweden are the things that are popular here right now. Like being tan, for example. When I was growing up, that wasn't very popular. Or having big lips. Oh, I was picked on for my big lips. But now that's popular, so great. Here I am with my tan skin and big lips, yay! I personally think that there is more pressure in Korea to dress nice and look nice, be beautiful. Like when you send in an application for a job, you 90% of the time have to send them a picture too. And sometimes, unfortunately, people do get hired just based on being beautiful and not best man for the job. Also, in Korea, it's socially acceptable to comment on other people's looks, which is not at all the case over here. So in Korea, it's not uncommon to hear you've gained weight, or your skin doesn't look very well today, or you would be so much prettier if you lost a little bit of weight. In Sweden, commenting on people's looks are a no-no, like definite no-no. You don't do that. People can look however they want. It's their own personal choice, and who are you to tell me that I shouldn't look like this? That sort of thing. Now, I am not ethnically Swedish. My parents are Colombian. So in Colombia, we also have that culture of commenting on people's looks. So actually a funny story with my mom and these comments. One time my mom and I met a friend of mine who's Swedish, and my mom said, "You've lost so much weight, you're so pretty." And she had like this shocked look on her face, and I was mortified. And I was like, "Mom, you can't say that." And then I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, "What? She looks good, she looks beautiful." And I was like, "Yes, but you're not supposed to tell her that. We're in Sweden, we're not in Colombia." And it's very similar in Korea. So again, if you're going to Korea, brace yourself, because people are going to comment on the way you look, especially if you're a woman. Did I say especially? Especially if you're a woman. So this was a very rambly video, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. And what are some of the things that you consider beautiful? Leave it in the comments below. Do you tend to lean more towards Korean beauty ideals or Western beauty ideals, or a mix of both? Tell me everything in the comments below. I want to hear everything you have to say. Also comment, like, subscribe, all those things. Turn on the notifications in order to get alerted when we post a new video. And I will see you next time. Bye!
No, of course he's gorgeous and has luscious lips, and he's beautiful, and of course kissing him was amazing. Actually, I was so struck. When we did my death scene, he actually walked away. He talked to the director and he's like, I need a few moments. He walked away, so everybody was ready to film when he came back. So when he came back,